Yo, what's up, guys? I am Artorigold, a top 500 player and have been for many seasons, and I am also a support main. I love support, it's my main role, and Kiriko's a brand new hero that I can't wait to play her in ranked, right? Like, her mobility and her healing potential is just crazy, and I absolutely love her ult. Now, I'm going to give you guys a very quick guide. I'm planning on doing something better and bigger a little bit later on, but for now, this will have to do. Let's go ahead and get into all of her abilities. First up, we have her passive. It's basically Genji and Hanzo's passive. Not too crazy, you just climb up walls. It's pretty nice, you can use it to maybe juke enemies if you need to, but ultimately because of your teleport and your E, you don't really need to use it for that. You basically just use it to get to the high ground. Ultimately, if you took this ability away from her kit, she would still be just as good. She's still really good without this ability, it's not that necessary. So let's go ahead and get into her left and right click, which are her main damage dealing and healing abilities. Her right click is a kunai. We'll start with that since it'll be fast. It does very little body damage. I believe it is 40, but if you do a headshot, it does 120. It actually has a ×3 headshot multiplier, making this hero a very high skill ceiling for this reason, and it doesn't quite one-shot any characters. However, if you were to headshot a tracer and then follow up with a melee attack, you can kill her and do that. However, that would have to mean the tracer is right up in your face. So yeah, the headshots are great, but ultimately the attack is pretty slow compared to things like Zenyatta. Zenyatta attacks a lot quicker. This does change later on with your ultimate. It's nice. It's not great. This is kind of what separates her from being a huge damage dealing support. If you are Moira or Zenyatta, you will most likely get more damage value out of those characters. Although Kiriko can pump a little bit, it's still like a main healer character in my opinion. Next up, her main healing ability, you have these 5 cards that you kind of see on the screen right here, and basically you shoot them out at allies and they heal. If they are yellow, that means that they are going to home in on the ally and they are not going to miss. However, if you see blue cards, that means they are not homing on to the ally. They still can potentially heal them if they walk into it, but ultimately they're kind of like duds. You want to go for the yellow ones all of the time. By default, you have your cards. If you press your left click, it will shoot all 5 non-stop. That is the default option. You want to override that and get rid of that because you can make it so you can cancel the cards earlier. You want to basically cancel it earlier almost all of the time because you can use your other abilities instead of that extra card or two where you might not need it because they're already full health. This is something that's very helpful, so make sure to look for that setting right away. Other things you can do with this ability, if you use your left click and then you want to left click again, there is a short delay before that second heal comes out, so you can actually weave in a right click kunai in between your left click heal waves. Kind of like Baptiste, where you can weave in your left and right clicks, you can do the same thing with Kiriko. It's not as effective because you do need to get headshots with this character, but all around it's still a good idea to try to do that to try to get a little bit more ult charge. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the Swift Step. It is a very short 7-second cooldown. You can teleport to any of your allies. It's very handy to kind of get yourself in a better spot, better position, or you can use it to escape. It really depends on where you are or where your allies are. But one of the things I've noticed with Kiriko is when you teleport to your allies, even if they are out of position and you are able to save them or help them, it puts you in a bad spot and potentially means that you'll just die a second after they die. So ultimately, you don't want to do it all that often. Maybe if you have your E up, you can get, a teleport and then E immediately, but all of the time, it's not all that worth it. It's kind of better to just stick with your team and heal them and just teleport away from the danger when anybody comes towards you. This teleport does have a few niche uses. You can use it to cleanse yourself of some abilities, but not all. For example, a Junker Queen ultimate, you can get rid of that anti-heal effect, but you can't get rid of the Ana anti-nade effect. It's kind of weird like that. The Sigma ult and Graviton Flux, you can't teleport out of it. However, if a Sigma Graviton is about to slam you down, you can teleport out of that slam damage. but you can't get out of it until it starts. It's very, very hard to pull it off, but you can do it, and I have done it before. Next up, the E, which is Protection Suzu. You throw an Anonade, essentially. It's just a bit slower and harder to use, and it just makes everybody use Moira Fade for about a second to become a ghost. You can use it on yourself, your allies, whoever's grouped up. Get rid of debuffs such as Anti. You can save people from things like Hook ability, from Sleep Darts, stuns, any kind of CC. It's basically a god ability, but it requires very, very clutch and precise timing. Essentially, you want to save it to get rid of debuffs such as Ash Grenade to maybe prevent ult charge, or you can use it for the antis. And just all around, if your ally is very low and it looks like they're going to die, then go ahead and throw an E on them. Use it sort of like how Baptiste would use Lamp, right? Just save their lives and help yourself heal them back up, get a free left click in on it. Use it on yourself whenever you can as well, because it's very powerful when you can keep yourself alive, and then it also buys you time so you can then teleport away. Now, lastly, we have the ultimate ability, which is very aggressive. I like to think it's an aggressive ability. Use it as often as possible to try and get your team an advantage in the team fight. You basically send forward this hallway, kind of like how you saw in the video, her recent video, which is pretty cool. And it just goes in a straight line. Doesn't matter if it's high ground, it will go to the low ground afterwards. And it basically increases everybody's movement speed and attack speed, reload speed, and cooldowns. So it just buffs everybody to make them just super strong and super powerful, and I like to use it in a push situation. I mean, unless you really need to use this ability defensively, I would use it aggressively almost all the time. It's incredibly good if you're trying to push forward, gain space, get on an objective. It kind of forces your team into action as well. If your team is playing a little bit too passively, this is a great way to kind of get them into gear. Now, all around, this character is best as a main healer. In my opinion, I think she's incredibly strong against Annas and Junker Queens. Characters that apply debuffs with Anti, she's incredibly good against those, including CC, such as Sleep Dart, which is also Anna, and she plays very well with a Roadhog. Now, one of the things about Roadhog as your solo tank, he's basically incredibly weak towards all those debuffs, and he just feeds ult charge, and this character does exceptionally well at canceling that out, so I think she pairs very well with Roadhog. One thing you should worry about is your E can be eaten by D.Va. D.Va does give you a very hard time. She can eat your left click healing, and she can eat your E. D.Va is a pretty hard counter character towards you, so I would be very wary of her. And Death Ball is basically what she's going to be very good at, especially with her ultimate. You can get it very quickly. I think all around, this character is incredibly fun. She's going to break the meta. She's going to be insanely good to combo with and just help your allies all around. I think she's going to be top tier. I think she might actually be S tier, but keep in mind, she is also a very high skill ceiling hero, so she might be a little bit hard in the beginning, but the more and more you play her and figure out, how she works and what her abilities interact with and how exactly it all works, she's only going to be better for you. So she is a fantastic character to pick up if you are looking to main her and climb the ladder with in Overwatch 2. I wish you all the best luck. Please leave a like, a sub, and a comment to let me know what you guys want to see next. Maybe I'll do some more VOD reviews with this character, especially once Ranked is out, or maybe some other characters. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I am Artorigold. You can see me at twitch.tv/Artorigold, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.